In this video, we're going to look at how to put together our final design folders as a PDF for DP design. So we have here our design folder separated into our 4 separate criteria for a standard level student. If you were in high level, you'd also have criterion E and criterion F. Each of these, of course, is a separate Google Slides. So I'm going to have a look at some of these. I'm going to have a look, first of all, at the first criterion A, and you can see here that this designer has already removed the title slide and the rubrics that we put together as part of our template. So that's fine, but what I think is a better idea is that you leave the title slide and you leave the rubric sections in here so that you've got the structure still in place. Now you can see here, the designer here has removed criterion B strand 1. Let's have a look at what's happening here in terms of criterion C. So for criterion C, we still have the title slide with the basic information. We then have criterion C strand 1, criterion C strand 2, and criterion C strand 3. So this is what we recommend that you do. You keep these title slides in here, and you keep the rubrics in here for each section as well. Okay. Anyway, we're in a situation here where this designer has not done that. But that's okay. Let's just close all of those down there. So they've already basically deleted those slides from criterion A. Well, we're going to do that for B, C, and D. But before I do, I'm going to make a copy of this. Let me see. I'm going to make a copy. This, of course, is going to take a few seconds. We're going to make a copy here as well. And I'm also going to make here a final copy. Now, what I'm also going to do here as well, just to try and make sure that I keep things nice and clean, is I'm going to make a new folder here as well. And I'm going to call this Original Design Folder Files. Okay, and I'm going to move those into the original design folder files. So I've got those safe. Now I've got to be careful here because remember, of course, that actually I need to make a copy of A as well, even though this designer has actually removed from criterion A the title slide and the rubrics, but nevertheless, I'm going to make a copy, then I can move the originals into that original design folder file. And if anything goes wrong, I've still got those available and safe. Okay, next what I'm going to do is with each of these, I'm going to delete the title slides now and the rubrics. So I know that this designer has already done that for criterion A. Let's do that now for criterion B. So I'm going to select this slide here, scroll down with the wheel mouse, control select this one. This is of course on a Windows machine. Control select the last one, and then I'm going to right click and I'm going to delete those slides. Now, before I do that, it might have been a good idea just to make sure that I knew what I was going to be left behind, but I can see there that that seems to be correct. So maybe something else I can do here as well is just do it in this slide sort of view. This might be a little easier for you to work through. I just zoom out a little bit here. You can see all my slides. I know there are 14 slides. If I delete 1, 2, 3 in this case, it should be a fourth because I'm missing strand 1 rubric. Then I know I want to go down to 11 slides when I'm done. So let's do that. Let's delete those slides and I'm down to 11. So let's now have a look at C. Again here, let's go into the slide sorter or grid view as Google calls it. Let's just zoom out there so I can see them all and then select, control select, control select, control select. Let's right click. I'm going to go from 16 down to 12 when I delete these. So right click and delete, and I'm down to 12. I can also see there's a blank slide page at the end here, so I'm also going to delete that too. Okay, and then let's now have a look finally at criterion D. Slide sorter view here. Zoom out a little bit so I can see them all. And then I can see I've got 11 slides. It looks like this one is blank. Well, I'm going to leave it for the time being. I'm going to select, control, click, control, click, control, click, control, click. That's 4 to be removed. I will take that therefore down to 7 slides. Let's delete those slides. Oh, let's just see what happened there. I'm going to undo that. 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, of course, I was deleting 5 slides, excuse me. So that would have taken us down to 6. So that is correct. Let's just redo that modification there. Okay, so I'm just going to sort out my slides a little bit here. So what have I got? I've got D, C, B, and then let's just load up A here. And let's also just make sure that A here is perhaps in slide sorter view. So there I've got all of my slides lined up. Now what I need to do now, of course, is join them all together. Now there's different ways I can do this. I mean, I could select all of, whoops, I could select and shift select that slide and then copy and paste them across. But instead what I'm going to do here is I'm going to go to File and Import Slides. And now I'm going to go to, let me see, I've got my folder here for DP design. And in this particular case, I need to make sure I'm getting a template B. Now, when I insert these slides, I need to make sure that I insert them in the right place. Now, I can see at the moment I've got the first slide selected. So let's just see what happens if I select those now and I import them. Okay, right, select all slides, import slides. Yep, and it's going to place them after the selected slide. So that was no good there. What I need to do here is make sure that I've got my my page selector or my slide selector right at the end here. And then I can do the same thing, import the slides. So that was going to be B here. I'm going to select all of these slides. It says here about the theme. Do we need to worry about that? I mean, when we configured all of these slides, we had all the same theme for all of them, so that shouldn't be an issue. You might want to turn that off. And then we can see now that those slides are going to be added on the end. I now select the end of that current slide sorter view. Maybe just zoom out a bit here so I can see what's going on. So there's the end of the slide sequence. Let's go back to import again. And I'm going to keep on doing this with the criterion C. And then, of course, I'll also do the same there with criterion D as well. Select all the files, import. And then finally down here and import slides. So that's D. And we will be done. The last thing to do here, and I'm just moving ahead here while this finishes sticking to itself, is of course we need to export all this as a PDF. So there's my design folder done. Of course, I'd now want to go through this slide by slide and make sure that everything is correct. There's no mistakes. And then when I am ready to go, I'm going to go to File. What would be a good idea here actually is before I go any further, just make sure that I've given this an appropriate name. So I need to make sure that I remove my name from the title here. So I need to put my student code in there. I don't know, I'm just going to put a number in there, okay? Design folder, and then what will be useful here is to indicate as well what the design folder is about. So this is going to be, I believe, for a camera light box. And I might also want to say here, year 13, DP design folder. Now, just double check the title there. In fact, you know what I'm actually going to do here for a second. I'm going to go to my original design folders here. Of course, that one that deleted the title page, so let's get rid of that one. Let's have a look on here for a second. Export as a PDF, which is the required format. Okay, so there's nothing in here about titling for the final work. Change the background only on the first slide. So personal candidate code only on the first slide. So that's something you'll need to put in there as well, making sure you add that in. So looking at our design folder right here, this cannot be the first slide. I'm going to have to insert into this, a new slide, put that to here, and I'm going to have to make sure that I put the relevant details onto that first slide as indicated here on this. Done your work as a PDF. The file name should include session, subject, and your name. There we are. So that's how it wants to be formatted. So let's actually take that information there. Let's come back to here. Let's actually select all of that. Let's paste that in. So this is going to be IB May 23 Design Technology, John Smith. Okay, and then file. We are now going to, he says, download. There it is. We're going to download this as a PDF. And when it's finished, It's going to be here. I'm going to click on the up arrow here. I'm going to go to show in folder. So here's my file, which has been saved. You can see I'm just going to refresh this page here with F5 and a Windows key. There's my design folder. And then the last thing I'm probably going to do here is just come back to DP design like this. And then I'm going to drag this into here. So I have got that in my Google Drive. And there's of course my blank site page to begin with where I need to put my candidate code, but there's my design folder with all 32 pages, 33 with the title slide included. Okay, great. I think that's everything. Good luck putting your design folder together, and we look forward to reading through it and generating your assessment.